Hey y'all. Hey y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna wait till somebody come on here, but this is Rashida here. I know a lot of my videos you don't get to see my face. But in that garden chat and when I'm sowing seeds and doing something with the seeds in the house, boy, I sweat up a storm. Um you get to see my face. So if you were on here earlier, I did a garden chat with Lisa from Gardening with Lisa, and we had a good time. We kikied, okay? And y'all know me, I had jokes for the most, and she is such a joy to talk with about gardening. And so the other night, this is what prompted me to come on here. And if you're new here, my name is Rashida Monique. I know a lot. I hop on the chat, and people's like, I hope I'm saying your name right. So it's Rashida Monique. I'm gonna start saying it in the video, so if somebody comes to the videos, they'll know. So this is Rashida Monique here. The other night, the 11th, I know it's 11th because my things is dated the 11th. I took the time to catalog my seeds and put them in this case. Now I'm gonna tell you the bummer about this case. I already had this case when I found out from Kim's Cozy Corner. Kim from Kim's Cozy Corner. She has a black one because your seeds should be kept in a dark space. Why all y'all got this clear one and showing me this clear one when y'all need to have this black one? I was so salty. I'm like, you mean I need to go get a black case? I'm not going to get a black case, you guys. But just so you know, if you're watching this and you're like, where am I going to put my seeds in? And I want something. This is a photo case from Michael's. And photo cases are on sale at Michael's for Black Friday. And I think I caught mine long before Black Friday, but I got it on sale like 60 or 70% off. It was $12 instead of the usual $40. But if you're looking for one doing your Black Friday shenanigans, get a dark one. Or at least a color one, not a clear one. Okay? But anyway, so I put them on, I cataloged them. That's a fancy word for I made a list in Evernote by company. Okay? What seeds were, what seed company I got it from. But I'm missing one. You see that one right there? I'm missing one. So I'm sitting here and I'm getting stuff together. And I just happened to look down. I'm like, what? I went to turn my light off, my ring light off. And I'm like, something's on the floor. And it was this. And it had this that had seed packs in them. Okay. So I pulled out. I have my Mizuna mustard from In My Gardener. Y'all know that's my boy. I don't know him. He don't know me. I just call him my boy. Whatever. Okay. Y'all know when I rock with you, I rock with you. And when I don't, I don't. That's pretty much how that go. And then I got some more collards. And some more collards. Because eventually I think I'm going to have some collards. I don't know when, but eventually. And then I have some Homestead Heart Swiss chard. 2 things of collard seeds for Homestead Heart. And some early Dutch cabbage. And then I have this partial pack of curled mustards from Plant Heart Seeds or Hearts Seeds or something like that. These people right here. And then I have this. Why is there no top to this? What is this? Is this, I think it's this brand. No, it ain't this brand. No, it says Fairy Moors. Okay, so it's Fairy Moors. Are these collards? I don't know what these are. Am I the only one that does this to themselves? Like, there's nothing on the bag to tell me. Oh, that light's too bright. There's nothing on the back of this to tell me what this is. So what? When I sow seeds next year, I'm just gonna say greens. I really think that's is that a flat, like a flat mustard? Container variety, 75 days. I can put it in a 12-inch pot. Y'all tell me what that is. I'm so sad. And I'm like, Rashida. And usually when I rip stuff up, I will put both pieces together. There's no other piece in it. Hold up. Come on, Jesus, help your daughter. Thank you. He helped his daughter. It ain't the whole one, but let me tell you, it's the same brand. It's Fairy Morse, and it's a collars. We're gonna go with these are collars. I was sitting here like, Lord, what have I done to myself? Okay, so there's some Fairy Morse collars. That's just special. And I'm gonna take is my blue marker here? I'm gonna write on it just in case I lose the other part. If I write on it, it'll be on there. Collards. I just need to have me a fill of collards, okay, after the year I've had with growing. So I might rename this. I was on, anyway, whatever. I live in my house. So let's talk about, give me this light back. I've been hemming and hawing about doing this end of it's not even the end of the year because I'm still growing, but let's just say the end of summer. Recap. So, caregiving, saying I'm gonna do a garden, buying stuff to do the garden, still ain't done the garden, right? Order garden beds. I was gonna have part of the garden tilled up, but I didn't. And I think part of the procrastination was last year when I tried to work in a till garden and those weed, I know it's called weed pressure. I was like, I'm not doing that this year. So I procrastinated. Then I was like, well, let me get the beds. So I got garden beds. I got the chicken wire. I got the weed fabric. That's really ain't the best. But I got what I could get at the big box store. And eventually I was like, girl, we got to get these beds together. And it was like Memorial Day weekend because y'all know in Michigan it still be cold. Not really thinking, girl, you know you can put them beds out there and it'd be cold. But I wasn't trying to do that. And then I got them in there, and then I finally got some soil, then I got some soil, then I finally got some plants. So it was like June 10th when I planted my starts and some seeds because some seeds I didn't have in starts. And so I have the video on here when unbeknownst to me that white moth was flying around my garden bed and that sucker laid eggs. And so therefore something ate up my green. It ate up my greens. Its little babies. Its little babies ate up my greens. So my summer garden. So let me give you guys a little history. I said it on the interview, but in case you haven't watched the interview with Lisa, I started gardening in the summer 2016. 2015, I moved into my apartment, but it was already mid-May and everybody had already rented their garden spaces. So I rented my first garden space in 2016 because I want buying greens in the summer. I feel like I don't have to buy greens. I shouldn't have to buy tomatoes. I shouldn't have to buy cucumbers. I shouldn't have to buy bell peppers. I shouldn't have to buy collards, turnips, mustards, cabbages. You get the gist, right? Certain things, because growing up, my dad would garden and we would just be like, we need this, go get out the garden. Okay. Now, 2016, I got one garden bed and I planted okra, greens, tomatoes. So when I say greens, I planted me some collards. I planted my parents. I eat, but specifically my mama, daddy, I eat either or. I and mama eat either or, but she prefers. She's spoiled. She prefers mustards and turnips. So I grew mustards and turnips, and me and her both like okra. And me and daddy would eat tomatoes like going crazy. So those are some of the few things that I grew that first year. Had good success, pretty good success. The next year, better success. I went from one garden. I got in early and got 3 garden beds, so I can separate my stuff and grow more of this and have more room. Because tomatoes bush out and all this other stuff. And then was able to do yellow squash, zucchini. Um, I did 3 types of tomatoes: beefsteak, Roma, and cherry tomatoes. And somebody said, why 3 types of tomatoes? Because I don't want to wait for beefsteak to make. So I need to be eating all my cherry tomatoes till my beefsteak comes. Roma tomatoes. I like Roma tomatoes. They're good for making sauces and tomato soup and all that stuff. And I can eat them too. I don't discriminate. So I gardened and had pretty good success every year that I gardened at the garden space at my apartment. I gardened every year out of I gardened 5 out of the 7 years. The first year I did not garden because I had just moved. The year that my godmother died, I barely eked out enough energy to finish gardening that season because she passed in June of 2017. And that I did not garden in 2018. It was just a lot of death, a lot of loss. It was just a lot of things, and I didn't have the capacity, so I didn't. Yeah. Was it the same year? I want to say it was the same year. I want to say my godmother passed in June. I want to say my twin uncles, they passed in that October, November, something like that. Or so maybe it was even, it was like October because they had their birthday in September. Either way, it was a year. It was a year. And so then I gardened 2019, 2020, 2021. 2022, I knew I was planning on moving from my apartment back over here to the homestead, okay, because we own some property over here. And my mom called a friend to have the ground plowed up. She had it done. I don't know when she had it done, but I didn't come over here till time later. And I was short on time, but I was like, I can make this work. It's just a short time because I'm going to be going from suburbs to here. And, daddy and them can check on the plants and do. Well, I didn't think about them plants, and neither did they. And them weeds grew. And so I would find myself, hey, Cynthia, I would find myself struggling to try to get the weeds out and do whatever. And mid-June, July, I just threw my hands up. I mean, my best friend was planning her wedding. We trying to do wedding stuff, and all the things. So my garden last year didn't do much. So I was like, I'm gonna garden next year, but I got to figure something else out. So in all of my figuring and triggering that I was doing, I decided to do raised beds. And I was going to do in-ground and raised beds. I got the soil test kit from MSU. I ain't dug up them different plots of dirt and send that soil test there in yet, y'all. You thought I was AI? Yeah, girl, I'm back on. I came back on. You missed the first part. I came back on because I found one of my missing containers, and I was cataloging it, and I had this long story short, I had this short pack of seeds with no top, and I had no idea what they were. And I was like, y'all, I did this to myself, and I don't know what it is. Because even if I cut a packet or something happens to it, I try to keep all the pieces, and I just start looking around, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. So that's why I'm back on. I thought it was funny. Then I decided to go ahead and tell some of my garden story. So, so this year I garden. So I garden in. I started off with 3 garden beds for the summer, and I planted my garden in June. And so, bed number 1, I planted mustards, turnips, collards. I did mustard seed because I didn't have any mustard greens and starts. My turnips, I got some few greens for them before they died. I got quite a few cuttings from them. Then they ate them up. My collards, they was fledgling and eventually got eaten up by the cabbage worm or them baby moth worms, whatever one they were. So at that point, that was that. And so I still had sweet peppers, I still had jalapeno peppers, so I'm working with them. In the middle bed I had yellow squash, zucchini, and acorn squash. So I had zucchini, squash in the 2 corners of the 4.5 foot by 5.5 foot. No, it's 3.5 by 5.5, 3.5 by 4.5 foot. So I have. Let me stop lying to y'all. I got the numbers down. I don't have to guess. But when you do stuff unplanned, that's what you get. Am I right? I'm right. But I started tracking this stuff so I would know what I have and what I'm doing. And I have Evernote. And then I have garden things. Okay. Garden things. Boop, boop, boop. So yeah, so either way, here we go. Garden schematics. So it is a 3-foot bed by 5 and an 8-foot bed. So it's 3 foot wide, 5.8 foot long. So I put 2 zucchini in the corner. I put 1 acorn in the middle, and I put 2 yellow in the other corners. Because even though that's only 5 plants in 15 square feet, y'all know how squash do. It do what it do. Well, it didn't do what it do. It got powdery mildew. I got a couple of zucchini, I think any yellow squash, and a baby acorn that ended up dying. So, well, it was fledgling, and I just ripped it out because I was tired of the mildew. Then the other bed had my tomatoes. It had some green peppers that I ended up transplanting into another bed that ended up dying. And I had my 3 types of tomatoes there: lima beans and green beans. They're both were bush beans. Some lemon basil as well. I ended up with bottom end right on my tomatoes, so I worked through that and started getting a few tomatoes. I transplanted out my bell pepper because I had too much in that bed, which was the same size as the other bed. Also, hey Albert, how you doing? So had that going on with the tomatoes, and then the lima beans seemed to be slow to start making, but they finally did. I did those from seed as well. I just picked them up on a whim at the nursery. So I picked them up on a whim and put them in the ground, and they started growing. So I was excited about that. The green beans, once they start making, they made for a little while, but I didn't know bush beans. When they decide they don't want to make no more, they don't. And nothing in my mind said, hey, go get some more. I thought they were supposed to just start kickbacking. They never did. So Then I was gifted 2 beds, but I didn't do anything in them for the summer. I just used them for the fall. So my summer 2023 was a year of lessons because my things didn't do well. Let me tell you why. Because I bought this soil, this good old soil I purchased for raised beds. And it said on the bag that you should add your fertilizer to the soil. And I read it and I said, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I never did. Right. And then I went and bought a general fertilizer and worked it in the top of some water in the end, but it wasn't enough. And that's why I was having such a problem with my the blossom end rot and the growing of my peppers and different things. And then when I realized it, I was like, oh girl, you need to amp this up. And so I really started getting back at, getting on my watering schedule, really getting on adding this fertilizer, and then things started to turn around. And so things started to turn around. So I got a lot of cherry tomatoes. I got some Roma tomatoes. Beefsteak wasn't beefsteaking, but I got a few round tomatoes. Okay. So I want to say outside of the few fresh tomatoes that I've eaten, I don't know how many Dad ate, or my god sister that comes by, she likes gardening too, and she gets some tomatoes. I probably have a gallon bag and a half of tomatoes in the freezer to work with. So it might be like a pot of tomato soup or something. I have I'm gonna tell you how many lima beans I got. Once some of my lima beans got chopped down by the lawn people. So when I finally picked them, I think I picked them too soon. But it had started to get cold and I didn't want them to go bad. So I picked them. So I probably have a freezer bag with this many lima beans in them. Green beans. When I would pick my green beans, whether I was going to my parents' house, I started a freezer bag. So I would wash them and freeze them. I was not blanching them. Come here, wash them, freeze them. So I have a partial bag here and I have a partial bag at the parents' quart size bag. That's it. Greens. Turnip greens did pretty okay. I added them to some other turnip greens that we had. And I had a few, I had no mustards. I think I bought mustards and just made it work. So we had a few of those. My mustard greens I planted from seed. Out of all the seeds I planted, only 2 plants survived, but they didn't thrive until it cooled down. And because I didn't know that summer was too hot to grow mustard greens. And so, but I thought about it when I looked at my parents' backyard. When my dad was growing mustard greens, it's shaded back there. We had trees. And so that's probably why they thrived, because they weren't in the sun like they are in the lot where I have them. Collard greens got 8, so we didn't have no collard greens. I transplanted the bell pepper, the sweet peppers, the red pepper, the yellow pepper, they died. I got 2 or 3 green peppers off the green pepper plant. And then I got a lot. I think I got a video. I got a lot of jalapeno peppers. A lot of jalapeno peppers. The couple of bell peppers I did get, I ain't gonna say 2 or 3. I might have got 4 or 5 because I dehydrated them. So I dehydrated my jalapenos because my goal is to make jalapeno salt. Y'all think I done made that jalapeno salt? No, I just have containers of dried jalapenos at the moment. But remember, part-time caregiver here. So that's okay, the squash. Zucchini. I got probably like 3-4 zucchini. The acorn squash I pulled out the ground, didn't get that. The yellow squash, never pollinated, never made. On the porch, where I had success. These red potatoes. And I told my mom I could not find, so I started so late in the season. I didn't get my potatoes, my sweet potatoes. And I wasn't didn't think to try to grow one from a store potato. So I ended up going to Tractor Supply and getting red potatoes. That's all they had left. And I did 3 bags. And then 2 weeks later, I did like another 3 bags. And then probably like 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks later, I did the rest of them just because I had extra. Didn't think we was going to need all them potatoes. When I tell you these red potatoes are a very forgiving potato. And they good whether they this size or whether they this size. So it was a learning curve, but I had decent success with my red potatoes. Also in the grow bag, I tried to start sugar baby watermelons because I saw somebody doing vertical out of a grow bag. That sucker never germinated. I'm trying to think. I think that's all. I think that's about all that I tried to grow this year. And the reason I do believe the reason that I struggled so, and some of the things my dad was trying to tell me, but I was like, yeah, I know I need to add something to it. I know I need to add some fertilizer. I just should have done it when I put the soil in the ground. I should not have waited. I should have bought the fertilizer when I bought the soil. And when I put the soil in them containers, I should have put the fertilizer in there. So when I put my plants in there, there'd have been something to go in. So that's me, because I'm me. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. One thing that Lisa on the interview said today was about a schedule. I'm not good with a whole lot of schedules per se, but I do need a few reminders to say, you know what, it's been 2 weeks, because sometimes these weeks go by so fast when you have so much going on and you don't even realize, wait a minute, I missed my fertilizing. I missed my feeding my plants. So I learned that my garden, because the last year that I gardened at the apartment, I was looking out the window, and it was only because my shift changed once I went to work and told them what was going on with my mom, and I was allowed to switch my shift. I was there one morning looking out my window because I could see the garden from my window in my apartment. And these trucks pulled up and people came out with their equipment and they were testing and doing these little things and taking soil samples and blah, 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 and doing all the things. And then they went back, and then probably like the next day they came back with soil and this and that and dumping stuff in there. And I was like, oh, they really doing stuff to the beds. Still didn't click. The reason I'm having a problem here that I didn't have there was because those beds were made and primed for us to grow without having to do our own additives, because they didn't want us just putting anything in the ground and trying anything. And so, yeah. So when I came here, I have to do all of that, what they did. Okay, learning curve. So I learned that. This year I did try starting seeds for the fall. So I had some successes and some failures with seed starting. I've made some messes, okay? But I'm learning. So I'm glad for this 2023 grow season. I'm glad that I've been inspired to grow in the fall, because fall has never been on the radar for growing. I've only known gardens to be summer things. I'm still learning in the fall. I'm learning about feeding my plants and this 511 fish emulsion. I have garlic. So I have bone meal and all the things for that. I have kale. I eat kale, but I have never grown kale. Spinach. I eat spinach, but I've never grown spinach. And I learned today that I need a lot of spinach to get the spinach that I want. Starting Brussels sprouts. I started those seeds and even put them, when I find out that I don't have enough time for them to grow, I still put them in the ground, because I said I'm tired of throwing my plants away. So we're going to see how they make it over the winter with this good plastic that the Lord has provided for them. Okay. What else do I have out there? Brussels sprouts. That celery ain't gonna make it. It's too much water content, but it's out there. I'm trying to think what I got in my beds. Radishes. I need to harvest those radishes, y'all. I have radishes. I've never grown radishes. I have beets. I've never grown beets. I have carrots. I've never grown carrots. I have all that outside. Swiss chard. I've never grown Swiss chard. I eat Swiss chard. I don't buy Swiss chard, but if I buy a salad and it's in there, I will eat it. Also, too, I have some other stuff that's out there that I don't know what's gonna make it. Sweet peas and wax beans. But I got this good plastic. I keep saying I got this good plastic, and I have cabbages, and my cabbages look so good. These cabbages is giving me hope for the fall, y'all. This cabbage had me thinking she might be able to grow some things. So I have cabbages growing. I have walking Egyptian onions that are sprouting early. I thought it was going to be dormant, but I planted my garlic too soon. Listening to the people that I trust, but they didn't know either. You know, they're like, oh, I always plant at the end of September. I always plant around the 1st of October, but didn't know that once I planted, we was going to have 80 and 70 degree weather here in Michigan. So we had some warm weather. We've had some cold nights. We've had some freezes. We've even had snow. But for most of the time, it's pretty warm for garlic. So my garlic is sprouting. My onions are sprouting. But I'm excited about the fall gardening and my winter gardening. And I'm going to go with my plants as long as they go. And we're going to go from there. But I'm not going to say I'm a winter garden, because if it be too much snow, I'm not going to guarantee you I'm trudging over in the lot to get any food. So, but I'm still grateful for the 2023 experience. And it's Thanksgiving time, so you can just be thankful for the experience. Yes, I had to buy my greens for Thanksgiving. I'll probably be buying my greens and my black eyed peas for New Year's, but it's okay. It's okay. I have to still eat frozen lima beans. It's okay. We're going to do better next year. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise no more. So that's why I am taking the time to write things down. That's why I'm taking time to make these videos, so I can go back and see, what did Rashida do? Where did we miss it? Because I ain't going to remember. Some stuff I remember and some stuff I won't. Where I have missed it. Starting my seeds. So my goal for 2024 is start my seeds on time for the spring. Don't be deterred by the cold that's outside. I can still start growing in anticipation for spring. So now I can spend my winter figuring out how I'm going to grow seeds. And so, yeah, so that's it. That's all. I just wanted to share with you all what was going on after the chat. Go ahead and get this 2023 summer garden season wrap up, or 2023 growing year wrap up done, because I kept thinking about it, and I didn't had thoughts on it. I just never put my face on this camera and talk to you guys about it. So this is it. I'm not making another one. I'm not going to be vexed about the greens that I did not get, but I'm thankful for the things that I did get, right? I'm thankful for the opportunity to grow my own food in some shape or fashion. I'm excited about growing my own potatoes. I love potatoes. Y'all go look at that short and see what I did with them potatoes. I was going to make a video, but I was going to do a voiceover, but I was struggling with it. And I was like, I don't know if y'all going to get that video. Maybe y'all will get it in the middle of the winter. It's just going to be downloaded on this computer until God say something different. Okay. But I'm excited about doing new things. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being on my channel. If there's somebody you want me to talk to, or if you're interested, if you want somebody you want me to talk to, tell me their channel. I'll watch them. I'll let you know if I talk to them. I'm not just picking just anybody, and I'm not interviewing people because they ask. Because I'm a certain type of person, and I like a certain type of atmosphere over here on my corner of the interwebs. So Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions about the garden, go ahead and ask them down below. Feel free to go to the Garden 2023 playlist, and you can see what's been going on with me this gardening year. It is unedited. It is all true, and it is simple. All right. You all have a blessed night. You all have a blessed day. Prayerfully, I'll see you again. Remember that you're blessed. You're highly favored. You're the apple of your Father's eye. He is absolutely and positively concerned about you. He thinks that you are the best thing since sliced bread. You can cast your cares upon him and know that he cares for you and that he loves you with an everlasting love. And there's nothing and not a thing you can do about it. You all have a wonderful and a blessed night. Lord willing, I'll see you all here again soon.